Well, there's a bunch of questions about this. Citizens. There's a good way to start it. I'll just say citizens. I'm not even going to say taxpayers. I'll just say citizens. All of your problems are solved. That's it. Okay, check that. None of your problems are solved. The only law, in my opinion, that's more irrelevant than this new law, what will possibly be a new law, are the laws about regulating transgendered athletes in sports. Can you make an argument for this particular bill that is in front of your political heroes? Yeah, a little, I guess. I can do it. I kind of see it. So the question will be, why this, why now? And I think there's an obvious answer, why this, why now? What's the problem that has to be solved? Right? Your life is going on. You're thinking, I need my political heroes to solve a problem. What would that be? You make a list? The pressing problem of the day, because I have the answer. According to your political heroes, the pressing problem of the day is foreign athletes taking up athletic scholarships. Got it? Oh, no. The tragedy. They fix that. All is right in the world, correct, citizens? So why this, why now? Just keep thinking in those terms. State Senator Brandon Creighton has filed a bill along a couple of others. There are a few of these, to be fair. They would mandate that public colleges in the state of Texas only offer 25% of total athletic scholarships, grants, or other financial assistance to athletes who aren't citizens of the United States. I know. Wait, what? Yeah. Now, like I said, I can make a little bit of an argument for this. I mean, not much of one. I'm pretty sure you don't care and you shouldn't care. But, you know, if you want to try, and I can do it, I just think this is not quite sincere. It would mandate that public colleges in the state of Texas only offer 25% of total athletic scholarships. That's at a large state school, that's, what is that, a couple hundred probably total scholarships? Other financial assistance to athletes who aren't U.S. citizens. Here is your great senator from, I'm not quite sure where. I assume some suburban area is my guess. These scholarships, he says, provide a pathway to academic success and career advancement, particularly for students from low-income backgrounds. Now, again, if you just stop there and say, wait a minute, hey, wait a second, Jeff. I mean, if this is taking a scholarship away from a low-income kid in the state of Texas, why would we argue that? Okay, I said, you can find a few arguments in here. Are you sure that's what this is about? Really? Okay, well, he went on to say, he says, despite what you may be led to believe, college sports are not a business. Oh, okay. I think we're actually not led to believe that. I think we're pretty much living that, but okay. He says, despite what you've maybe led to believe, college sports are not a business, and our universities will not be in the business of maximizing profit for shareholders, but providing educational and athletic opportunities for the American citizens whose tax dollars fund their operations. What? I feel like singing Lee Greenwood, proud to be an American at this moment. Our universities will not be in the business of maximizing profit for the shareholders, but providing educational and athletic opportunities for the American citizens whose tax dollars fund their operations. You need to be very, very careful of what you're walking into. Somebody rich must have his ear, but somebody wealthier will tell him to shut up. There are, in case you ask, 25,000 current NCAA athletes out of 510,000 from outside the U.S. Okay. Again, you can talk yourself, and I think your first reaction is, hey, what's the big deal here? Why not? I mean, it seems like a reasonable position to take. I don't completely disagree. But First of all, the majority of foreign athletes on scholarship are most likely, since I don't know for sure, I'll avoid saying almost entirely, but I feel pretty comfortable with that. They are most likely in track, tennis, golf, and fill in the blank on other non-revenue producing sports. In other words, they're not football and basketball. Okay? That's the majority of them. I don't know that many foreign players taking up a scholarship on a basketball team in the state of Texas or football, but there's probably some. And I bet most top tennis and golf programs are largely made up of foreign athletes. Now, let me amend that. Probably track, too. I mean, distance runners in college programs, if they're successful, they're not going to be made up of mostly Americans, I'm willing to bet. These are non-revenue producing sports. In other words, they spend more than they make. They don't make anything. Is there an argument, if you want to do this, is there an argument that these foreign athletes are taking a spot an American could have? Yes. Yeah. Okay, but these are not football and basketball players. Now, understand this about the way this thing works. Athletes in these sports, remember, football and basketball are, how do I put it politely? They are like grown-up kindergarten where there's a bunch of money. These guys are getting into schools that would have no chance, none, of getting into college without a football scholarship or basketball scholarship. Very, very, very few. Athletes in these other sports many times can get into the school without special privileges. Without the privileges football and basketball players get. So coaches in these sports, in these non-revenue producing sports, use the scholarship for those that can't get in or those that need the money. Right? I mean, if I'm recruiting some tennis players out of Europe, they need some access to get here. So there's a lot of kids in the state of Texas, really good players that can probably get in school anyway. So I'm going to save that scholarship to use it on somebody who couldn't get in here or would need the help to get in. So they use these scholarships on athletes that can't afford to come to the school in the first place. Or, they're that valuable, which is probably both. Foreign athletes excel in those sports. They do. I don't think you're confused about that, are you? If you want to argue that, and I think some of the argument is no. If you're an average person and not a political hack, okay, and you're thinking, all right, I can make an argument that, Jeff, if we restricted these spots to American athletes, it's quite honestly, maybe we could be producing better distance runners. Maybe we could be producing better tennis players for the first time in decades. Maybe we could be producing more American golfers. However you want to frame it, and say, no, this training should be going to athletes in the state of Texas, athletes in this country. Okay. I mean, I think that's a stretch, but okay. Why this? Why now? I mean, this is not a new issue, by the way. Foreign athletes are not new. If those tennis scholarships went to training American kids, I mean, think about American tennis. Think about professional tennis today. It's rare, particularly on the men's side, that you find very many successful men's tennis players. I mean, it was a sport that I wouldn't say we dominated, but we're clearly at the top for a long, long time. We're basically have disappeared. So it sounds logical. I'm not quite sure it's true. Are American kids really missing out on the chance to play golf or tennis? Are they? Really? So what this doofus, I think, has walked into is a few things. One, I mean, just think about the basic argument. One, many Republicans would say the government shouldn't be mandating equality in sports, right? This whole Title IX, this NIL thing has been a basic argument. Oh, you should have to spread that money to other sports. So if you're arguing that government should not be mandating equality in sports when it comes to money and scholarships in college sports, he just offered a law mandating equality in college sports. He's saying the government shouldn't have been there for football and basketball, but the government should be there for this. Hey, Austin, Jeff Ward here, and I never thought I'd be in an accident and need a personal injury attorney.
And then sure enough, less than a mile from my house, I was blindsided. I was injured. My world was turned completely upside down. I called DJC Law and their team took care of everything. I got the best result possible. Don't just take my word for it. They have over 1,000 five-star reviews. So if you're injured, call 512-888-9999 and get your justice at teamjustice.com.